I read this. It may be a worn out, cliched illustration, but boy, it works. Here you go. When federal agents are taught how to spot a counterfeit dollar, right here, this is a 5. When they're taught how to spot a counterfeit, they are not shown a bunch of counterfeits. They aren't taken around saying, now here's what a counterfeit bill, here's one they try to pass, here's another one they try to pass. I want you to really study these counterfeits. That is not what they're given. They are given the real thing. And they are said, you learn the real thing. You learn the real thing inside out. You get to know the real thing better than you know your own name. I want you to study the real thing. And when a federal agent is taught the real thing, they're taught 4 things. Here they are real quickly. Touch, tilt, look at, and look through. Touch that bill, tilt that bill, look through that bill held up to light, and look at that bill ad nauseum over and over again until you can remember every line, every dot, everything in it. Touch it. I read this. The feel of a counterfeit bill is usually waxy. The only way that you're going to know that a counterfeit bill is feeling waxy is if you know what the real thing really feels like, and you immediately know when you feel, hey, this isn't the real thing, because I know what the real thing feels like, so I immediately see this is waxy. There's something not right. This one federal agent wrote this. We may not be able to quite describe why it feels wrong. We just know it feels wrong. Okay? Then when the bill is tilted, tiny numbers identifying the denomination of the bill will appear in the background that a counterfeit won't have. So they go, then they tilt it. Then they look through it held up to light. They look through it, and there are images that appear while holding it up to light that a counterfeiter can't duplicate. And then they're said, then just look at it, just stare at it. And you're going to see certain background patterns that appear that can't be duplicated by the casual counterfeiter. Bottom line is this. An agent becomes so familiar with the real thing, he only has to handle briefly a counterfeit to know it's fake. So let me close with this. We got to become so familiar with Jesus and his teaching that we instantly say, this feels waxy to me. That feels something wrong with that I'm hearing. We got to know what Jesus really said or didn't say, who he was, the very incarnate Son of God, irrefutably, why he came to die on the cross for the sins of the world, whether he was the one and only way to salvation, shutting the door to all others that he promised to literally and bodily return. We got to know the bill. And we need to know the book. It's God's very word. And I just like those 4 things. We got to hold it. We got to tilt it by examining it. We got to look through its amazing pages. And we've got to look at it regularly. And when we do, we will immediately spot Jezebel trying to deceive.